Good morning, rock stars. Welcome to the Retail Leasing Playbook podcast. We are going to discuss today chapter 23. The title being Micro-Targeting is the Only Way to Do Social Media Prospecting. I know you guys have heard me again and again and again tout my results in Facebook prospecting. It is amazing the results we are getting. If you have not tried it, please do. I have a ton of videos on our YouTube channel, Beth Azor, that talks about and walks you through how to effectively do Facebook prospecting. But what we talk about in the chapter is how when I first started, basically there was only a few ways to connect with a client. You could call them, you could visit them, you could send them a snail mail letter, or you could fax them. I don't know if you guys even know what faxes are. We didn't even have emails, and then the world revolved, right, or evolved, and we got email, which that happened during my career where people were like, what's this all about? And now we've gone all the way to the end of the extreme with email blasts. And if you've seen me at an ICSE conference, you've seen me wear a little button that has a line through email blasts. I hate them, but more importantly, the retailers hate them. The national retailers hate getting the email blasts. The only blasts that I am a proponent of is a blast where you are targeting, let's say, 20 barbershops in your community because you have a newly created barbershop second-gen space. That is an email blast I'm a proponent of. Or maybe it's a second-gen restaurant space that just came available and you email blast target the restaurant brokers in your market. Obviously, I'm good with that. But I hear horror stories from my retailers who get email blasts every day for spaces of 1,200 square feet where they are 30,000 square foot user, or for spaces that are across the street from an existing location they just opened 3 months ago. That's what helps the retailers discern who is a quality landlord leasing agent or broker and who's not. And they remember, I have a friend who is a real estate manager of a national tenant of 30 to 40,000 square feet. They typically buy, and there's one broker in New York who's now sent him 3 email blasts addressing a different name than his, and in the email blast addresses a different retailer than he is. And my friend has actually picked up the phone and called this broker to call his attention to it after he got the second one, and the guy keeps doing it. So my friend absolutely knows this broker's name. And what do you think he thinks about him? So there's a lot of other ways to reach out using different and new social media platforms or other platforms. Craigslist is a great venue, what we have used a great tool when you've got a space that's got infrastructure, valuable infrastructure such as a former medical space, maybe a former office space, definitely restaurant spaces, maybe a former dry cleaning space. So Craigslist, if you have a vacancy with second-gen value, that's a great place to use. When we're doing Facebook prospecting, I use Yelp and Google to identify the top uses in different categories, right? So I'll create my targeted list. And let's say I create kitchen and design is one of the uses. I will go to Yelp or Google and identify the top 10 in my market. And then I'll go to Facebook and look up to see if they have a Facebook page and then DM them, direct message them right from my phone. The Nextdoor app is a great opportunity for you to find other highly recommended businesses that people like to use for, and it's like a referral business, right? So if you go into your Nextdoor app and say, hey, I'm thinking about redoing my kitchen, or just, without even saying that, just which is the best kitchen and design firm in our area, you'll get lots of people that will throw in names that you can use to target and prospect to. LinkedIn. So I use LinkedIn for the national retailers, not the mom and pops. And that's that. So I focus Facebook, Instagram for the mom and pops, but LinkedIn I'll use to reach out to nationals. And if they are a national that is active on LinkedIn, which there's a lot that are not, but if they are active, they will respond significantly quicker than if I send an email. So that's how I use LinkedIn when targeting or prospecting tenants. So that's it for social media and prospecting and the different tools. Instagram and Facebook are used very similarly for the locals, the restaurants. I have heard that some of my friends have reached out to, let's say, franchisees of national retailers on Facebook and gotten contact information for the nationals. So that's interesting. I've never done that before. So I hope you guys are enjoying this podcast. If so, please do a like, maybe a share, and subscribe so you know when we're dropping our next podcast episode. Thanks again and have a rockstar day.